Hey everyone, back with the second video in the series. Following on from last week, how to release your lower back tension and hopefully get you out of pain. I'm going to move on to some common issues that I see in the gym on a daily basis. We're just going to run over 5 exercises, the overhead press, the kettlebell swing, deadlift squat and burpee. Now I'm just going to show you just some common postural issues that I see, what to look for, how to brace and how to do the exercise safely and effectively. So hopefully we'll pick up some tips. Any questions, obviously just email me through and we can elaborate further. But this is just going to be a quick do and don't on the 5 basic exercises. Okay, so overhead press. Today I'm going to use a barbell, but the same rules apply to a dumbbell overhead press, kettlebell overhead press, med ball overhead press, anything that you're going to push obviously higher than your shoulders and your head. So first thing we've got to look for is the do's. We do want to engage our core, we do want to engage our glutes. So that's the basis of all lifting, all pressing. So we're going to get tight through the stomach, tight through the glutes, and have a nice strong brace. The second do is we're going to keep our shoulders over the top of our hips, okay? And that's going to create a nice even distribution of the weight. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got the bar on my chest, I find my feet, I brace, I push through. My shoulders staying vertical of my hips, and I come back down and repeat. Now the common don'ts, common things that I see, people loading up too much. The shoulders come behind the hips, all of a sudden I have an ugly arch in my lower back. So once I get to there, I'll lose my structure and I'll lose my basis of performance. The second one I see often in the gym is a locking of the knees. So again, locking out those knees almost automatically creates tension in the lower back, and again you'll find that you arch. So if you can keep those knees slightly bent, only 5 to 10 degrees, just a slight bend in the knees, a brace in the stomach, a brace in the glutes, you're going to hopefully minimise or even totally reduce any back pain during your overhead presses. Okay, so overhead press. Today I'm going to use a barbell, but the same rules apply to a dumbbell overhead press, kettlebell overhead press, med ball overhead press, anything that you're going to push obviously higher than your shoulders and your head. So first thing we've got to look for is the do's. We do want to engage our core, we do want to engage our glutes. So that's the basis of all lifting, all pressing. So we're going to get tight through the stomach, tight through the glutes, and have a nice strong brace. The second do is we're going to keep our shoulders over the top of our hips, okay, and that's going to create a nice even distribution of the weight. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got the bar on my chest, I find my feet, I brace, I push through. My shoulders staying vertical of my hips, and I come back down and repeat. Now the common don'ts, common things that I see, people loading up too much. The shoulders come behind the hips, all of a sudden I have an ugly arch in my lower back. So once I get to there, I'll lose my structure and I'll lose my basis of performance. The second one I see often in the gym is a locking of the knees. So again, locking out those knees almost automatically creates tension in the lower back, and again you'll find that you arch. So if you can keep those knees slightly bent, only 5 to 10 degrees, just a slight bend in the knees, a brace in the stomach, a brace in the glutes, you're going to hopefully minimise or even totally reduce any back pain during your overhead presses. I love kettlebells. I think they're the most versatile piece of equipment in the gym. You throw one kettlebell in the boot of your car, take it around Australia and have a fully functioning gym with that one bell. I think the reason a lot of people dislike kettlebells is because they're unfamiliar and don't have great movement skills and haven't been taught the right way. So that's what I'm looking to try and correct here. The kettlebell swing, obviously the number one exercise people do with a kettlebell. The issues I find, people complaining of their back almost immediately after starting a swing. Now, the first couple of things are, it is a posterior exercise, so we're trying to work our hamstrings, our glutes, our lower back. We're not squatting, so that's one of the nose, we're going to hit the nose straight up. We're not squatting and pushing our knees forward and doing a squat swing. Okay, so what I want to do is hip hinge, I'm going to push my glutes back, again keep my knees relatively over my ankles, that way I'm going to use the posterior chain and not let those knees fall forward and turn into a squat. So hips back, coming through. Now the other thing I want to do is use my bottom, use my glutes as a handbrake. So if you're going to use your glutes and really squeeze, it's really difficult to overextend and get that large arch like I mentioned in the overhead press. So people are trying to swing too high or with a weight that's not within their limits, overextending, giving that pain in the lower back. So I'm going to demonstrate a few reps. Up, squeeze, chest down, hips through. So you'll notice I only went to eye level. I know we'll see in CrossFit those guys go up above head. CrossFit's a sport, those guys need to start in the finish point, and they are advanced athletes. So for the average person training in the gym, the reason we do a kettlebell swing is to train our glutes, hemis and lower back. I just did that without going overhead. The other thing we want to do is make sure we're not using our arms and just muscling the bell up there. So what I do as a testament for some of my members is if you can hold the kettlebell out like that for more than 5 seconds, the bell's generally too light and you're going to use your arms. If you can't hold it up for more than 5 seconds, it's probably a good weight, and it's going to teach you how to use the posterior chain as they are larger, more dominant muscles. So that's your kettlebell swing. Alrighty, so the barbell deadlift. The first thing I'm going to say about a deadlift is get a coach, and a good one. You're not going to learn how to deadlift from this quick tutorial. I'm just going to teach you a couple of things to keep in the back of your mind as preventative measures for injury. So yeah, like I said, there's a technical movement. Things can go wrong. I'll just show you a couple of basics and get us started. So do's, what we want to do. As we grab the bar, first thing I'm going to do is take this big round out of my back. I'm going to sit down into it and turn my lats on. That's going to give me nice integrity through the spine and get me in a good position to lift. Secondly, moments before I lift, I'm going to load my hamstrings, maintain that spinal integrity, push the floor away and pull up. Okay, nice smooth movement and just pulling up off the floor. Something else I see commonly, people want to yank on the bar, especially as the weight gets heavier. So what I see is people go from a relaxed state, don't go through their setup procedure and bend the elbows and pull up. Now that's a recipe for disaster. We want to slowly distribute the weight through our body. So we come in, obviously keeping my knees relatively vertical again, and in that position I can load my hamstrings. Lats on flat back, push the floor away, and slowly come up to extension. Full extension, open the hips, squeeze the glutes, ride it down my legs, nice control, all the way through to the floor. But again, like I said, professional coaching is the best way to learn deadlift, and in my opinion, it's probably the only way. Alright, so now we're just going to go through the squat, the barbell back squat. Until you can hold good form doing a bodyweight squat, there's no way on earth you should be putting a barbell on your shoulders. So go through the progressions, earn the right to use the barbell, then we can go safely. So if you've been doing a few squats, you want to use the barbell but you're finding you're not really comfortable, first thing you need to do is learn to box squat. Now if you can't sit back on a box with the barbell and then come up nice and smoothly, you've probably got a little bit of work to do on your glute activation and your movement patterns. So I'm just going to demonstrate a few box squats first of all. So what I'm going to do, feet just outside the box, I'm going to learn to put my weight back, all the way back, sit down, push up through my heels. So this is teaching my hips to break backwards, and I'm not just going to lean forward and do a bend or a good morning. So you'd be surprised how often I see people, their hips aren't really getting any closer to the ground during a squat, which the idea is to squat down. Quite often we see that forward movement. Obviously my back's in an extremely vulnerable position when I do that, so I haven't got the bar loaded too much just so I can demonstrate. Pushing through the heels. So again, once you go up onto your toes, your knees are going to fall forward, the whole squat's going to break down. So if you can knees out, push hard through your heels, you're going to come up in a nice vertical fashion. So yeah, one of those major don'ts, as I mentioned, getting those hips forward and try to go deep before you have the right. So if you're coming down through a squat and you get to a certain point and your hips want to kick out, that's your depth. Okay, so you don't want to continue to drop as your hips kick out. So we'll come down with nice, strong form. If your hips kick out, that's where your squat ends and you come back up. And you can just repeat that effort day in, day out, week in, week out, and slowly get stronger and hold it deeper and deeper and deeper, maintaining that integrity. So don't force it too much. Put in the hours, put in the reps, and then the rest will come. Alright, exercise number 5, the good old fashioned burpee. Now we all know burpees suck, but yeah, they keep turning up in programs and I keep seeing them day in, day out, week in, week out. So I don't think they're going away. If done correctly, they are a great metabolic workout. Get your heart rate up, gets your muscle burning. So, let's just make sure we're doing it right and injury free, and we continue to love and hate burpees and hate our coaches for giving them to us. So again, for those of you who are prone to back pain, overarching of the hips, the best way to start your burpees, I'd say come down, jump out, jump back in and up. That way we're going to keep our hips high and there's less chance that we're going to push those hips through and overextend the back. Now, the worst thing I see day in, day out is this. The feet go back, the first thing that happens is the hips drop through to the ground while the chest is still open and high. Now see straight away, you've got that lumbar curve and it's not feeling great on my back right now. And then coming down, and then people will push up through the hands while the knees and hips and everything is still on the ground. So I'm going to show you 2 good reps and we'll just discuss them after that. So I'm going to come down, out, up, out, brace, down, up. So the trick is holding that brace through the lowering of the body. I find my feet. Now the core is on. It's tight, I've flexed it, and I'm going to bring my whole body down in one complete unit. When I come back, I'll come back up in one complete unit and jump in. So avoiding that large curve, that's the trick to not hurting your back during burpees. Outside of that, tell your coach to jam it. I've been told a few times, I don't take it to heart. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll continue with some more episodes very shortly.